This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
Introductory to Halachot Hametz U'Matzah, Rambam is listing 8 mitzvot regarding the laws of Hametz and Matzah. 5 out of them, mitzvot lo ta'aseh. 3 out of them, mitzvot aseh. First isur is one lo ta'aseh in the Torah, shelo le'echol hametz ba'Pesach. There is isur, strictly isur, to eat hametz during Pesach. This isur is involved with the hiyuv of karet, which means if a person eats hametz during Pesach and he did it purposely, the Torah gave him the punishment of karet. V'nichreta ha'nefesh hahi. If he did it by mistake, b'shogeg, hayav korban hatat, as the rule says, kol davar shehavin al zedono karet, havin al shegegato hatat. There is another isur, separated isur, not to eat hametz on Erev Pesach. That's the day before Pesach, Yud Daled Nisan, Erev Pesach, from midday and on. Rambam is pasking, there is lo ta'aseh. The pasuk says in the Torah, lo tochal alav hametz. Alav, what the Torah is referring to? Rambam explains, the Torah refers to Korban Pesach. When you have Korban Pesach, lo tochal alav hametz. And Korban Pesach used to be served in Beit HaMikdash on Erev Pesach by midday. Hatzot Hayom, right after midday, that's the time, the beginning of the time to serve Korban Pesach. The Torah says, Lo tochal alav hametz. You're not allowed to eat hametz during the time that you have Korban Pesach. Which means it's a separated isur for Erev Pesach. There is one isur in the Torah, one lo ta'aseh during Pesach. Another isur related to the day before Pesach, Erev Pesach, and that isur is applying from midday and on. There is a difference between the two isurim. The punishment on the hametz during Pesach, it's karet, as we just mentioned. But on Erev Pesach, it is lo ta'aseh, and the punishment for that is only love. Which means the hametz, the isur of the hametz on Erev Pesach, is less hamur than the hametz during Pesach. During Pesach, there is hiyuv karet. On Erev Pesach, it's isur lav, the hiyuv is malkot. There is no hiyuv karet on the hametz on Erev Pesach. Not all the poskim agree with Rambam's opinion as far as the humrah of the isur on Erev Pesach. Haravad holds that the isur of hametz on Erev Pesach, it's not lo ta'aseh, it's aseh. Mitzvat aseh. We're learning that from the pasuk Tashbitu se'or mibatechem. Rambam is listing Tashbitu, mitzvah Tashbitu, as a separated mitzvah. There is lo ta'aseh, lo tochal alav hametz, and there is mitzvah Tashbitu. I'm going to explain what's mitzvah Tashbitu, and then I'm going to explain the disagreement between Rambam and Ra'avad. The Torah says, Ach bayom harishon Tashbitu se'or mibatechem. Gemara is asking, bayom harishon, what Yom HaRishon we're talking about? First day of what? We cannot explain that we're talking about the first day of Pesach. Since the Torah already said, Shiv'at Yamim, Se'or lo yimatzeh bevatechem. The entire 7 days you're not supposed to have Se'or or Hametz in your possession. So here, if the Torah refers to the first day, and the Torah says, Bayom HaRishon Tashbitu. Tashbitu, it means in the Torah to annul the Hametz, to cancel the Hametz. Tashbitu Se'or. So if the Torah talks about the first day of Pesach, and the Torah says during the first day, annul the hametz, cancel the hametz, it means that at the beginning of the first day, you still have hametz in your possession. And the other pasuk already said, Shiv'at yamim se'or lo yimatzeh bevatechem. The full Pesach, you're not allowed to have hametz. The whole 7 days. Not even 1 second from the 7 days you're allowed to have hametz during Pesach. So what is it, Bayom HaRishon Tashbitu? Must be Bayom HaRishon, it refers to Erev Pesach. The day before Pesach, you have to annul the hametz, you have to cancel the hametz. And the pasuk says, Ach bayom harishon. Ach hilek. Whenever the Torah says the milah ach, achin verakin shebatorah lema'et, over here the Torah means split the day. The first half of the day, you're allowed to have hametz in your possession. The second half of the day, tashbitu se'or mibatechem. The hametz should be cancelled, the hametz should be annulled on the second half of the day. Therefore, the obligation of the Torah to cancel the hametz, to nullify the hametz, it's right before midday, before the hametz becomes forbidden. Once the hametz is forbidden, we cannot cancel it anymore. We cannot nullify the hametz. Why? the Isur of Hametz, it's not only Isur Achila. The Torah forbids us the Hametz Ba'achila u Behana'ah. We cannot eat the Hametz, and also we cannot have any benefits from the Hametz. When we're talking about ownership, you own something, it's yours. You can either eat it or sell it. You can give it. You can enjoy from it. You can give it to the animals. You can sell it to someone. You can benefit from it. But if the Torah tells you, you're not allowed to eat it, you're not allowed to give it, you're not allowed to sell it, you're not allowed to have any benefit from this, so what is yours? In what way it's considered yours? That's it. There's no ownership here. Cannot do anything with this. So, Hametz, it's Asur Ba'achila and Asur Ba'ana'ah. According to Harambam, right on the midday of Erev Pesach, the Hametz becomes forbidden Ba'achila and Hana'ah. Cannot eat it, cannot benefit from this Hametz. Which means it's not ours anymore. If it's not yours, how are you going to cancel something which is not yours? Can I cancel your Hametz? Can I annul your assets? Can I cancel something which belongs to you? If it's not mine, if I'm not the owner of it, I cannot cancel it. I cannot annul the Hametz. So therefore, the obligation of Tashbitu, Mitzvat Tashbitu, Seor Mebatechem, must be according to Harambam before midday. Before the Hametz is Asur. Nowadays, we do the annulment, we do the bitul of the Hametz much earlier. We do two bitulim today. The Gemara says, Abodek tzarich sheyevatel, so we do one bitul at night. Right after B'dikat Hametz, we do bitul the Hametz. We're cancelling the Hametz after B'dikat Hametz. And the reason why Hachamim came with this takana to do the bitul at night, because Hachamim were afraid, if we're going to leave it for the day, maybe a person is going to forget, and once he forgot, and he didn't do bitul Hametz, he's going to be aver le'erev le'ematzeh. So therefore, Hachamim said, do bitul at night. And then we do another bitul during the daytime, when we're burning the Hametz, when we're destroying the Hametz. And that is done usually much earlier than midday. Since the Hametz on Erev Pesach, Midirabanan, we are allowed to eat Hametz only until the end of the 4th hour. And then we have 1 extra hour to benefit from the Hametz. And during this hour, we're burning the Hametz already. By this hour, we're already cancelling the Hametz. Hachamim put an extra hour to forbid the Hametz Behana'ah, which means an hour prior to midday, an hour before midday. Already the Hametz is Asur Behana'ah. We cannot benefit, we cannot sell the Hametz. An hour before midday, that is the Rabbanan. And 2 hours before midday, the Hametz is Asur Midei Rabbanan Ba'achila. We cannot eat the Hametz. But Min Torah, the Oraita, the Hametz is Asur only from midday and on. Ba'achila u Behana'ah, according to Harambam. So therefore, the mitzvah of Tashbitu of the Torah should be before midday. Nowadays, we do it earlier than that. We do it before the Hametz is Asur, even Midei Rabbanan, before the 5th hours, we do the Bitul of the Hametz. That is called Mitzvah Tashbitu. Tashbitu, it means annul, cancel, consider the Hametz according to Harambam, consider the Hametz like the dust of the earth. That's the text we use also in Bitul Hametz. Kol hamira deika birshuti livtil veleheve ka'afra de'ar'a. We're considering this Hametz like the dust of the earth. That is called Bitul Hametz. So that is Mitzvat Aseh Min Torah. We listed already 3 mitzvot. Isur Achilat Hametz during Pesach, Isur Achilat Hametz on Erev Pesach for midday and on, and Mitzvat Aseh of Tashbitu. Now we'll go back to the mahloket between Harambam and Haravad. According to Harambam, there is 2 Isurim involved with the Hametz on Erev Pesach. Isur Lo Ta'aseh, Lo Tochal Alav Hametz, and also Mitzvat Tashbitu, to cancel the Hametz. According to Haravad, there is no Lo Ta'aseh. There is only Mitzvat Aseh of Tashbitu Seor Mebatechem. If you have the obligation to cancel the Hametz, so you cannot eat it. Lav haba michlal aseh, aseh. What's the nafkamina between the 2 opinions? According to Harambam, if someone eats Hametz on Erev Pesach after midday, Hayav Malkot. It's Lav Min Torah. According to Haravad, it is only Mitzvat Aseh, there is no Malkot on Aseh. So according to Haravad, there is no Aseh. There is a 3rd opinion, that is the Shita of Harazah, Rabbeinu Zerahia Levi Ba'al HaMaor. Razah holds that the Erev Pesach, the Hametz on Erev Pesach, is not Asur Min Torah. It's Asur only Midei Rabbanan. Hachamim forbid us to have Hametz, or to eat Hametz, or to benefit from the Hametz on Erev Pesach. Min Torah, the whole day, the Hametz is permitted. Halacha, regarding bitul, as we said already, we're doing the bitul much earlier, before midday. We're not taking any chances. But for someone who didn't do the bitul on the first half of the day, by the second half of the day is going to be in a big conflict if he can cancel the hametz at this time. According to our Rambam, it's already too late. He cannot cancel the hametz after midday, and even by the 5th hour when the hametz is assumed the Rabbanan, cannot do any more bitul hametz. By this time, the only way to get rid of the hametz is to destroy it, it's to burn it, it's to get rid of it physically. But just to annul, just to cancel the hametz, as long as it's yours, before it's asur, you can cancel it, you can annul it. Once it becomes asur, it's too late. Let's go back to the list of the mitzvot on Erev Pesach. We listed already 3 mitzvot. There is a separated isur of ta'arovet hametz. Kol mahmetzet lo tochelu. This pasuk comes to teach us that we're not allowed to eat not only hametz ba'ain, the actual hametz, also ta'arovet hametz. Ta'arovet hametz means if the hametz was mixed with something else. I have a product which is mostly not hametz, but in the ingredients I have hametz in there. So that's called ta'arovet hametz. The mixture of hametz in the product. Comes the Torah and tells us, Kol mahmetzet lo tochelu. The hametz is asur, it's a separated isur for ta'arovet hametz. And over here also, we have a difference between hametz ba'ayin and ta'arovet hametz. Hametz ba'ayin, if a person take a bread or a cake, hametz ba'ayin and he eats it during Pesach, hayav karet. If he did it b'mezid, hayav karet. If he did it b'shogeg, hayav korban hatat. But if a person ate only ta'arovet hametz, he didn't eat hametz ba'ayin, he ate a mixture of hametz, there is no isur karet, there is no hayuv karet. There is only isur lav velokin alav. Only malkot is less hamur. The ta'arovet of the hametz is less hamur than the hametz itself. Hametz itself, the actual hametz, we have isur karet. But ta'arovet, the mixture of hametz, it's 1 degree below, it's isur lav, there is no isur karet over there. And even isur lav, it is only if you have the shi'ur. This is a specific amount to this isur lav, and that is shi'ur kazait b'chdei 3 betzim. That's what the Rambam is saying, Perek Aleph Malachot Hametz U'Matzah, Ba'alacha Vav. The shi'ur is kazait b'chdei achilat peras. I'm going to explain a little bit the concept of kazait b'chdei achilat peras, since we need this halacha for Pesach, and we can say the entire Torah is involved with this halacha of kazait b'chdei achilat peras. According to our Rambam, achilat peras, it's 3 betzim, 3 eggs, talking about volumes of food. The original sugya is referring to kikar b'bayit hamenuga. What's the size of this kikar? It's a certain amount of bread. According to our Rambam, this bread was a bread volume of 6 eggs. When we say peras, we mean half of this bread. Half of the 6 bread, it means 6 eggs of bread. That is 3 eggs. 3 eggs of bread, volume of 3 eggs, a bread size of 3 eggs. That's called peras. If you have kazait, mixture of hametz in this amount, that is the shi'ur. That if a person eats it during Pesach, it's hayav lav. But if there is less than kazait in this amount, there is no even isur lav. There is no even malkot, it means. There is isur Torah. Hatzi shi'ur asur min Torah. Halacha ki Rabbi Yochanan ba'alachot ma'achalot asurot. Gemara says it in Yom Masechet Yoma, Perek Erev Yom Kippurim. Hatzi shi'ur asur min Torah. But malkot, only for someone who eats kazait, and he eats the kazait b'chdei achilat peras, and he eats the kazait, the ratio between the kazait and the mixture is kazait in 3 eggs. And I'm going to give you the ratio exactly in percentage. In each egg, according to Harambam, we have a little more than 3 kazatim in 1 egg. Rambam says, Perek Yutet Malachot Shabbat, also Perek Aleph Malachot Eruvin, that we have 3 gerot in 1 betzah. Gerogeret, it's a te'ena, fig. 3 figs in 1 egg. And a fig is a little more than kazait. Kazait, it's an olive. Compare the olive next to the fig. The fig is bigger. The fig is larger. So you have 3 figs in 1 egg, and a little more than 3 olives in 1 egg. How many olives do I have in 1 egg? Says Agra, according to Rambam, it's exactly 3 1/3. 3 olives and 1/3 of olive I have in 1 egg. Which means in 3 eggs I have 10 kazetim, 10 olives. Beautiful. So in 3 eggs, 1 kazait, it's 10%. It means if I have 10% hametz in the mixture, and it's at least kazait, and a person ate this amount, then is hayav malkut. But if the ratio is less, you have 5% hametz in the ingredients, there is no even isur malkut over there. And that's also involved of the isur of lo yira'eh v'lo yimatzeh. And here we're coming into the other 2 lo ta'aseh that we have regarding hametz and matzah. We listed lo ta'aseh, cannot eat hametz during Pesach. Another isur lo tochal alav hametz, that is isur not to eat hametz before Pesach, Erev Pesach from midday on. We have another isur not to eat a mixture of hametz. And now we're coming to the last 2 lo ta'aseh, lo yira'eh v'lo yimatzeh. The Torah forbids us not only not to eat the hametz, not to benefit from the hametz during Pesach, but also not to have it in our possession. You're not allowed to see the hametz, and we're not allowed to have it in our possessions during Pesach. And not to see and not to have it in our possession, the Torah refers only to our hametz. Lo yira'eh lecha, says the Gemara. What's lecha? Lecha means shelcha, yours. Shelcha היא אתה רואה, אבל אתה רואה של אחרים ושל גבוה. You're allowed to walk during Pesach and to look in a bakery by the front window. It's beautiful cakes over there. There's a pile of pizza over there. You can see this hametz. Although the Torah says, Lo yira'eh lecha hametz, don't see the hametz. The Torah refers to your hametz. If it's yours, you cannot see it. But if it's the goy's hametz or someone else's hametz, even hametz belong to Bet HaMikdash at the time Bet HaMikdash that's called Shel Gavua, you're allowed to see it during Pesach. So Isur lo yira'eh v'lo yimatzeh goes together. If you have hametz in your possession, it's yours, and you have it in your possession during Pesach, there are 2 isurim, 2 lavin involved with this avera. Isur lo yira'eh v'lo yimatzeh. What's the amount of hametz that a person keeps in his possession and is over lo yira'eh v'lo yimatzeh? At least kazait. If you have less than kazait, says the Gemara, perurin lahashive ubetile. There is no isur lo yira'eh v'lo yimatzeh if you have less than kazait. What if the hametz is not hametz ba'ayin? It's mixed into something else. It's a little bit mixture of hametz. One of the ingredients in the product is hametz, but it's not a whole hametz by itself. There is isur lo yira'eh v'lo yimatzeh in such a hametz or not? That's a mahloket rishonim. The Mishnah says, ואלו עוברים בפסח, כותח הבבלי, זיתום המצרי, שחר המדי. What the Mishnah is talking about over there? אלו עוברים בפסח, those are things that there is mixture of hametz in them. The Mishnah gives a couple of examples. I'm going to explain. Kutah habavli. What's kutah habavli? Kutah, it's a kind of a yogurt. They used that in Bavel. And why it's hametz? Because they used to put in the yogurt, they used to put pieces of bread, old bread, a little bit spoiled. If you take spoiled bread and you put it in the milk is going to turn into yogurt the next day. If you want to make a homemade yogurt, that's one of the ways to do it. Put a little bit, yogurt is a bacteria. You take something spoiled a little bit, you put it into the milk, and the next day you have yogurt. That's how they did it in Bavel in the olden days. That's called kutah habavli. It used to be very sour, very strong. They didn't eat it usually by itself. They used to dip the pita, the Iraqi pita. They used to dip it in this yogurt and enjoying this tibul, metabelin. Balayla hazeh shetipe amin. So that's one of the tibulim they used to do. That's called kutah habavli. So the whole product, it's yogurt. It's milk. But you have hametz mixed into the product. Do I have to get rid of it? if I keep it in my possession during Pesach, עובר בלא יראה ולא ימצא or not? We have a מחלוקת. Another example in the Mishnah, Shechar Ramadi. Shechar, it's alcohol, beer, vodka, but in the olden days, most of the shechar used to be done from dates. Used to make shechar out of dates, out of tmarim, shechar tmarim. So shechar tmarim is not hametz. Tmarim is not hametz. So most of the shechar was kasher for Pesach. But shechar Ramadi, for Madai, we just read in the Megillah, Parasu Madai, right? So shechar Ramadi, they mixed into the dates shechar some se'orim, a little bit barley. And the barley turned the shechar into hametz. So in the olden days, most of the shechar was kasher for Pesach, and this shechar that came from Madai, that was not kasher because it was mixed with se'orim. And maybe here's the time to mention the Mishnah, Masechet Pesachim Daf Lamed Hey. The Mishnah says, what is it hametz? What hametz is? Says the Mishnah, hametz, it's something which is made out of the 5 grains. Hitin, se'orim, kusmin, shiboret shu'al, and shifon. Hitin, it's wheat. Se'orim, it's barley. Kusmin, it's spelt. Shiboret shu'al, it's oat. And shifon, it's rye. Those are the 5 grains. Wheat, barley, spelt, oat, and rye. Those are the 5 grains. If you have, if you use those 5 grains and you don't watch it properly, it can turn into hametz. Once it gets involved with water and it rises, that's what is hametz. And over there the Mishnah says, "Elo devarim she'adam yotze b'hem yedei chovato b'Pesach." If you want to make matzah to fulfill the mitzvah of the Torah, to eat on the night seder matzah, we have an obligation. And here we're coming to the other mitzvah in the list of the mitzvot. We have an obligation from the Torah to eat kazait matzah on Erev Pesach, on the night, the first night of Pesach. The whole Pesach, the entire Pesach, if a person doesn't want to eat matzah, he doesn't have to eat matzah. It's permissible. We're not allowed to eat hametz, but we don't have to eat matzah. But on the first night of Pesach, we have an obligation from the Torah to eat matzah. Ba'arba'a asar ba'erev tochelu matzot. This matzah, how I can make this matzah? How is this matzah is made? Says the Mishnah, the matzah can be made from anything which becomes hametz. If it's possible to make hametz out of it, make it matzah and use it for the mitzvah. But if it's impossible to make hametz out of it, you can make it hametz, so you can make it matzah. So matzah can be done only from the 5 grains. Hita, se'ora, kusemet, shiboret, shu'al, and shifon. And we're learning that from the pasuk. Lo tochal alav hametz, shiv'at yamim tochal alav matzot lechem oni. The Torah attached the matzah to the hametz. If it's possible to become hametz, then you can make matzah out of it. But if you cannot make it hametz, you can make matzah out of it and to be yotzei dechva, the mitzvah of the Torah to eat matzah on the night of Pesach, the first night of Pesach. For an example, if you're going to make matzah out of rice, can you use this matzah for the night seder? Says the Gemara clearly, no. You cannot use a rice matzah or corn matzah for the night seder. Why? Or maybe potato starch matzah, you cannot use it for the night seder. Why? Because it's not hametz. And here is one of the sources in the Gemara that rice is not hametz. Gemara says it in 2 places. Masechet Pesachim Daf Lamed Hey Amud Aleph, Masechet Pesachim Daf Kuf Yud Dalet Amud Bet. Rice is not hametz. Rice is not hametz, says the Gemara. That's what we learn from this Mishnah. The Mishnah listed 5 things that can become hametz, 5 grains. Wheat, barley, oat, spelt, rye. Those are the 5 grains. You cannot make hametz out of something else. Not corn, not hummus, chickpeas, although it sounds like hametz, hummus, hametz, especially if you say chometz. Hummus, sounds the same. But it's not hametz. And the Gemara says it over there, matnitin de Rabbi Yochanan ben Ori. We have one opinion. Rabbi Yochanan ben Ori, who said אורז מן דגן וחייבן על חמוצו כרת, ואדם יצא בו ידי חבטו בפסח. Gemara says, matnitin delak Rabbi Yochanan ben Ori. Our Mishnah disagree with him. Also the Gemara in Masechet Pesachim Daf Kuf Yudalet Amud Bet over there, the Gemara says, we have the Mishnah, and Amud Aleph says, on the night Seder, we should bring two kinds of cooked food into the table. Shnei tavshilin. Heviu lefanav shnei tavshilin. And the Gemara is asking, Shnei tavshilin, two kinds of cooked food. What kind of tavshilin? What kind? Says the Gemara, Amar Rav Huna, kegon silka va'aroza. Silka, it's spinach, tered. Aroza, rice. So Rav Huna said, use for Pesach, for the first night, the two tavshilim that you're supposed to bring to the table, spinach and rice. Says the Gemara, Rava, Hava Mahadar, Asilka va'aroza kol yomei. Every year, Rava was the student of Rav Huna. He was very mehader, very particular to take spinach and rice for the first night of Pesach to have on his table. Why? Kevan denafak mipumei de Rav Huna Rabbeh. Rav Huna, his Rav, gave the example of spinach and rice. The words of Rav Huna was the favorite for Rava. Rava admired Rav Huna. Came out of the mouth of his Rav of Rav Huna, spinach and rice. He took spinach and rice every year for the night seder. Says the Gemara, Amar Rav Ashi, Shema'amina mede Rav Huna, let dehash lehader Rabbi Yochanan ben Ori de'amar orez min dagano v'chayven al chametz karet. Let dehash. No one takes in consideration even this opinion that says that rice is chametz. So here is clear Gemara. We have a conclusion in the Talmud that rice is not chametz. Also, mentioned in the Poskim, Arif, Harambam, Harosh, everyone agreed that rice is not chametz. So why there is a minhag by the Ashkenazim and some of the Sfaradim not to eat rice during Pesach? Not because there is anyone says that rice is chametz. No one holds that rice is chametz. But they had some complications. Many times they found wheat mixed into the rice. Used to be in the olden days, the fields of wheat and the fields of rice was one next to another. And sometimes you would find, in the rice you would find wheat or barley or other grains. That was the problem. Another problem they had, they used to store the rice in the same bags where they used to store the flour or the wheat. And you had flour or hametz wheat mixed into the rice. That was the issue. And since the issue was common, especially in Europe, so they put a fence, they put a gader usyag, and they accepted upon themselves a minhag not to eat the rice during Pesach. But no one is mistaken, says the Samak, דבר שאפילו תינוקות של בית רבן יודעין אותו. Even little children knows the simple halacha that rice is not hametz. No one mistakes and think that rice is hametz. But the reason is the humrah. They accepted humrah upon themselves. Also Arivash says it. The Rishonim, all of them agree that rice is not hametz. There is no even one shita. One shita you can find, but 99% we can say majority of the poskim holds that rice is not hametz. So the only concern was that there is hametz mixed into the rice, or maybe another issues mentioned in the poskim. Samak says, for some people, if you allow them to eat rice, and sometimes they make bread out of rice, today they're going to eat the bread made out of rice, the next day they're going to eat the bread which made out of the 5 grains. So not to mix the idea, not to confuse the grains, not to confuse the hametz with the not hametz grains, so they decree not to eat any of the grains, kitniot and rice, not to eat out of them. For people not to confuse them. But no one is really mistaken in thinking that hametz, that rice or kitniot are hametz. So therefore, the Sephardic minhag to eat rice during Pesach It's a very solid minhag. This minhag is mentioned in the Talmud, and as we said, Rava was mehader. He did extra humrah to eat rice on Leil HaSeder, because Rav Huna said, this is the example of Shnei Tavshilin. Why we bring in 2 Tavshilin to the table on the night of Pesach, the Seder night? Since the time of Bet HaMikdash, we used to serve 2 korbanot. One korban is called Korban Hagigah, and the second korban is called Korban Pesach. So nowadays we don't have Bet HaMikdash. Hopefully this year we will have, Be'ezrat Hashem, we're going to be able to serve the 2 korbanot over there. But times that we don't have Bet HaMikdash, says the Gemara, says the Mishnah, bring to the table 2 kinds of cooked food. Zecher lekorban Hagigah, vezecher lekorban Pesach. From Korban Hagigah, we ate most of the meat. Yeah? The ikar of the Saudah, most of the meal was based on the Korban Hagigah. You would eat Korban Hagigah as much as you want and however you like it. If you want it cooked, if you want shish kebab, if you want meatballs, you can make out of Korban Hagigah any kind of food you want. You want ashpalo, whatever you want, you can make out of this Korban Hagigah. But Korban Pesach, eno ne'echal ela tzali. Korban Pesach has to be roasted, and roasted by the fire, not roasted in a regular oven. Our ovens are not good for Korban Pesach. Used to be done in a special oven, fire on the bottom. The Korban itself, the meat, was with a distance, with the walls of the oven. If you get touched to the wall of the oven, it's cooked from the heat of the wall, not directly from the fire. You have to cut it. You can't eat this piece of meat, because the Torah says, "Al tochelu mimenu na uvashel mevushal b'mayim ki im tzeli esh." Must be roasted by the fire. That's Korban Pesach. Ve'lo ne'echal ela al hasava. What's al hasava? Al hasava, when you're satisfied already. You fill up your stomach from the other meat, from Korban Hagigah. Now you're eating Korban Pesach. Kazait, 1 ounce from the meat. Why al hasava? Since the Torah said, ve'etzem lo tishberu vo, cannot break a bone from Korban Pesach. If a person is hungry, he didn't eat the whole day, especially Erev Pesach, there's almost nothing to eat. So he comes to the Seder night hungry. He's going to start with the meat of Korban Pesach. By mistake, he's going to break the bone. So comes the Gemara and tells us, wait, eat first Korban Hagigah. Fill up your stomach. Now when you come, when everything is fine, now you take 1 ounce from Kazayat Pesach, Korban Pesach, and you eat it on Sava. This is Tzeli Esh. You eat it roasted. There's a beracha before, Asher Kideshanu b'mitzvah v'tzivanu ala achilat Korban Pesach. On the first Korban Hagigah, we also said a beracha. Asher Kideshanu b'mitzvah v'tzivanu ala achilat hazevach. And here, ala achilat Pesach. It's 2 mitzvot aseh, 2 separated mitzvot aseh. That was at the time of Bet HaMikdash. After Bet HaMikdash's destruction, says the Mishnah, we bring into the table 2 tavshilim. 1 to remember Korban Hagigah, and 1 to remember Korban Pesach. So Rav Huna said, what kind of 2 tavshilim? Silka va'aroza. You can bring spinach and rice. Those are the 2 tavshilim. There is an opinion of Gemara. Rav Yosef holds you should bring 2 kinds of meat. Halacha is even silka va'aroza. There is a minhag betza ve'basar. Nowadays, according to Rabbeinu Ari, on the Seder plate, there is a place for the betza, for the egg, and another place for the zroa, the handshake bone. That is Korban Hagigah. The betza is to remember Korban Hagigah, and the zroa is to remember Korban Pesach. Nahagu bebetza vebezroa. That's the minhag. But even other kinds of cooked food, they're good for the night Seder, according to Halakha. So, rice is not hametz, and we cannot use the rice as matzah. If a person is going to bake matzah out of the rice, it's not going to become matzah kasher for the mitzvah. It's kasher to eat it during Pesach. You can eat it, it's permissible. But the obligation of the Torah to eat kazait matzah on the first night of Pesach, that's got to be only from the 5 grains which is possible to make hametz out of them. Lo tochal alav hametz, shivat yamim tochal alav matzot lechimoni. Something which can become hametz, if you make it matzah, it's kasher for the mitzvah of the first night of Pesach. So, we have here already, I think, 7 mitzvot out of the 8 mitzvot that the Rambam is listing. Let's repeat them. Not to eat chametz during Pesach, not to eat chametz on Erev Pesach, not to eat ta'arovet chametz, not to see the chametz, not to have the chametz in our possession, lo yireh v'lo yimatzeh. Mitzvat aseh, to nullify the chametz, to cancel the chametz. Mitzvat tashbitu se'orim batechem, as we explained before, that's supposed to be done on Erev Pesach before the chametz becomes asur. Mitzvat aseh, to eat kazait matzah, an ounce of matzah on the first night of Pesach. And the last mitzvah, the 8th mitzvah, is לספר לסיפור יציאת מצרים. To tell the story of יציאת מצרים, והגעת לבנך ביום הזה לאמור, ביום ההוא לאמור, בעבור זה עשה השם לי בצאתי ממצרים. There's a special mitzvah to tell the story on the first night of Pesach. והגעת לבנך ביום ההוא לאמור, בעבור זה. לא אמרתי אלא בשעה שמצה ומרור מונחים לפניך. When you have the matzah in front of you, when you have the maror in front of you, then it's the time to tell the story of Yetziat Mitzrayim. And this mitzvah is the most important mitzvah of the Pesach, of the night seder, to tell the story of Yetziat Mitzrayim. As the Torah says, למען תספר באוזני בנך ובן בנך את אשר התעללתי במצרים ואת אותותיי אשר שמתי בם וידעתם כי אני השם. The Torah wants us to teach our children the miracles that Hashem did in Mitzrayim. The makot, the 10 makot, what happened in each makkah? The Haggadah says each makkah was involved with 5 makot. 10 makot times 5, it's 50 makot. We're supposed to sit there on the night seder and teach our children 50 makot that Hashem gave in Mitzrayim. Not 10 makot. 10 makot they already learned in school. They know the 10 makot. Now, Tzfardei Akinim Arov, a first grade can tell you the 10 makot, even a preschool can tell you and a kindergarten, he can tell you the 10 makot by heart. But the Haggadah says each one is times 5. Each makkah was combined with 5 other makot. That is in Mitzrayim. ועל הים לקו 250 makot. On Kriyat Yam Suf, 250 makot. Can you list me 250 makot on Kriyat Yam Suf? Now you know what we have to tell in Mitzrayim. Now we know what we need to do on the first night of Pesach. First night, and here in Galut we have the second night also. Yom Tov Sheni Shel Galuyot. And we got to come prepare for this. It's not going to come in Hashemayim. Hashem is not going to download to our brain the story of Yetziat Mitzrayim on the night seder. There's no downloading and there's no deleting. If you want to know it, you got to learn that. You got to come prepared to the seder. If you don't come prepared, you know what's going to happen? Instead of V'gata lebincha, it's going to be V'gata le'avicha. The child tells his father the story of Yetziat Mitzrayim. He knows better than the father. Comes back from yeshiva with a whole story of Yetziat Mitzrayim. But it's not the mitzvah of the child to tell the father. It's the mitzvah of the father to tell the child. But he's smart. He knows already. So you got to be over. You got to be a step ahead of him. You're going to learn. You got to come prepare for this meal. To be able to tell the story, a proper story. And make it interesting for him. Interesting. He must be you must attract him to the story. And the whole seder is involved around this mitzvah. Mitabelin shte pe'amim. Why we dip the vegetable twice? Why after Kadesh, karpas? Kadesh or Hatz karpas? Why the karpas comes? Why the first vegetable is? Right after the Kiddush. Kadesh yir'u atinokot v'yish'alu. The main reason is for the children. That they're going to see a change. And they're going to raise the question. And when the question is raised, I can come with an answer. So the most important mitzvah of the night seder is to tell the story of Yetziat Mitzrayim. And that is the mitzvah, one of the list of the mitzvot that the Rambam is listing for us on the introductory of Halachot Pesach. After we learned the introductory of Rambam, now we're going to take one halacha of Halachot Pesach, and we're going to try to explain it. We have a Gemara, Masechet Pesachim, Daf Lamed Amud Aleph. The Gemara says, Amar Rava, Hametz bizmano, ben bemino, ben shalo bemino, asur b'mashiu. Which means the Gemara says, Hametz during Pesach, ben bemino, if it got mixed, same kind, like flour with flour, kosher Pesach flour with not kosher Pesach flour. And by the way, the flour that we buy today from the stores, it's Hametz Gamur. In the olden days, flour was not Hametz. before the flour got involved with water, it's not going to become hametz. And that's called shemura misha'at lisha. You keep the matzah from doughing. From the beginning of the process of doughing the matzah, you keep it that it's not going to rise, that it's not going to turn to hametz. The simple flour in the olden days that you would get in the market, it was kasher for Pesach. But these days, all the wheat, before they ground them, before they make them a flour, they let them be soaked in water. They're soaking the wheat in water before they grounding it and they making it into a flour. So even before the wheat, before it's a flour, while it's still wheat, it's already turning into hametz. Hita, once the hita got in touch with water, not the first second, it's going to turn into hametz. But if the hita cracked, that's a sign of a himutz. If you want to tell the difference between a kosher lepesach hita and not kosher lepesach, if there is a crack in the wheat was in water and got in touch with water and got the crack, it's called hita beku'ah. If there is a biku'ah, there is a crack in the hita, that is a sign that this hita is hametz. But if the hita got in touch with water and there is no crack, it's safek hametz. It's not for sure hametz. Could be that it's not hametz. The hitim nowadays get in water, they're not just getting in touch with water. They're not just washing and rinsing the wheat with water. They let it get soaked in water. And most likely, it's already hametz. And even if it's not for sure hametz, the hitim are not beku'ot, there's no cracks in the wheat, it's still safek hametz. And safek hametz, it's safeka deoraita. Safeka deoraita, lehumra, which means the flour that we have today in the stores, it's either hametz vadai or at least safek hametz deoraita. Which means we should not have flour in our possession during Pesach. And maybe here is a time that I would like to explain the concept of mechirat hametz and bi'or hametz. The mitzvah of the Torah is lo yira'eh lecha hametz velo yira'eh lecha seor. Don't have hametz in your possession. Don't see the hametz at all. As we said before, ach bayom harishon tashbitu seor mebatechem. The mitzvah of the Torah is to destroy the hametz, not to have it. The Torah wants us to have a house clear of hametz. Zohar HaKadosh explains the mitzvah that hametz is symbolizing sitra hara, yetzer hara, and the matzah symbolized the yetzer hatov. And at least 7 days a year, at the beginning when Am Yisrael turned into a nation, when they left Mitzrayim, those days that Am Yisrael were born as a nation, leaving Mitzrayim, they ate matzot. And every year by this time we're having matzot for the first 7 days. Each day, it's like a day for the whole year. Once we have 7 days of matzot clear from hametz, we are machni'im sitra hara, machni'im yetzer hara. You know that hametz, what turns the matzah, what turns the dough into hametz? It's a bacteria. Yeah, it gets a little bit spoiled. And it rises. If you take it to the lab, that's what it is. It's a bacteria. In matzah, there's no bacteria there. It's done quick enough that it's not even turning into, not even a slide of souring. There's no sour, there's no spoil, there is no bacteria there. That's the difference between matzah and hametz. The visual difference between the hametz and matzah, the visual difference, it's the air. There is air in the dough, right? A person with an air inside him, you know what it is? He has ruach. Yeah, he's full of ruach gava. Nisi'im veruach vegeshem ayin. That's a gava. The idea of the dough rising, it symbolizes a person with a gava. And a flat matzah, we didn't let it rise. There's no bacteria there. It's not spoiled. And there is no ruach there. There's no air there. It's flat. That's symbolizing the anava, humbleness. And the Torah is trying to teach us the foundation of Judaism is anava. Moshe kibel Torah miSinai. What is it miSinai? He got the Torah from Sinai? או בסיני. משה קיבל תורה בסיני, he got תורה in Sinai, or he got תורה from Sinai. What the Mishnah tells us? משה קיבל תורה מסיני. מסיני, learn from Sinai. What was the specialty of Har Sinai? He was humbled. What was the specialty of משה רבנו? ואיש משה ענב מאוד מכל האדם אשר על פני האדמה. Humbleness. תורה נמשלה למים. Water doesn't stay in a high location. The water goes always makom shafel, from the top to the bottom. Torah stays in a person who's shafel. A person who's bar gava, the Torah leaves him. The Torah does not stay with him. So here, when we are talking about the foundation of Judaism, the Hag, the first Hag we're celebrating as a symbol of the born of Am Yisrael as a nation. We left Mitzrayim. We got the Torah right after it. The first stage the Torah is teaching us is Anava. That's the first Midat Tovah the Torah is teaching us. That's the idea of Matzah. And Rabbeinu Ari HaKadosh says if a person is having a house, his house is clear from Hametz completely, מובטח לו שלא יראה לו תקלה כל השנה כולה. It's a guarantee he's not going to have takalot, any mistakes. The whole year is going to be protected. So now comes the mitzvah of the Torah to get rid of the Hametz. And everyone knows about selling the Hametz. Is it the mitzvah of the Torah to sell the Hametz? What's the Torah's idea? What the Torah wanted us? The Torah wanted us to go and sell the Hametz, or the Torah wanted us to go get rid of the Hametz? The simple ratzon of the Torah, the simple mitzvah of the Torah is, Tashbitu se'om mebatechem. The Torah didn't say go sell the Hametz. One year, Erev Pesach, after we finished Mechirat Hametz with the Goy, a guy came over to the shul with a bag of Hametz and told me, Rabbi, I want to sell you my Hametz. Erev Pesach, you want to sell me your Hametz? What am I going to do with your Hametz? But he said, there is a mitzvah to sell the Hametz. I told him, where is this mitzvah? Where the Torah said to sell the Hametz as a mitzvah? I read the 613 mitzvot. I didn't find anywhere that says there is a mitzvah to sell Hametz. So what is it selling the Hametz is asking me? Selling the Hametz is a solution for a situation. A person who's stuck with Hametz and he cannot get rid of it, sell it to a goy. Don't keep it. It's not supposed to be yours during Pesach. We're not allowed to have Hametz in our possession during Pesach. So selling it, it's a solution. It's not a mitzvah. And it's a solution that originally was used on a difficult situation. The Mishnah says, Mishaya babasfina, a person who was on the boat in the olden days, 1500 years ago, traveling on a boat, it took maybe months, sometimes over a year, you're on a boat. So you're preparing yourself with food. And now Pesach comes. You stack a lot of bread, you stack a lot of tznimim, toasted bread, and dry bread, to have it for months to come. And then comes Pesach. What are you going to do now? Get rid of all your Hametz. Get rid of the Hametz. What are you going to eat after Pesach? A person is going to starve. Says the Mishnah, Misha babasfina, mocher Hametz lo nochri. He sells his Hametz to the goy. The Mishnah was not talking about every person to sell his Hametz to a goy. A person who's stuck, he's on a boat and he's going to be there for a few months to come, and he's not going to have what to eat after Pesach. The Mishnah gives him a solution. Sell your Hametz to the Nochri. The boat took a stop by one of the islands, and everybody is going down to get to stock up. They buy more food, and now for him it's Pesach. We cannot buy Hametz now over there. So he tells his friend, the goy, buy double. Maybe after Pesach I'm going to have Hametz, I'm going to buy it from you. Again, the Mishnah is giving him a solution how to survive. That is a surviving solution, selling the Hametz. And then, big factories and stores that usually have a large amount of hametz. Go tell a person who have $1 million hametz, burn your hametz on Erev Pesach. He's going to burn $1 million? Destroy the hametz. Our factory is not $1 million. Our factory is worth of tens or hundreds of millions of dollars. Worth of hametz. Tell them, go destroy the hametz on Erev Pesach. They're not going to be able to fulfill this mitzvah. So the Torah comes with a solution. Sell the hametz to a goy. But for a private person who doesn't have a special reason to keep hametz in his possession during Pesach, to keep the literal mitzvah of the Torah, it's the best way to go about it. If I can get rid of the hametz completely and not have hametz in my possession during Pesach at all, I know that I fulfilled the mitzvah of the Torah 100% with no confusions. There is no mitzvah to sell the hametz. Selling the hametz is a solution for someone who's stuck with hametz and he cannot fulfill the mitzvah of Tashbitu Seorim Batechem. So now it's almost a month before Pesach, and a person can plan himself in advance. החכם עיניו בראשו. איזו חכם? הרואה את הנולד. A few years ago I gave a shiur like this somewhere, and a guy came over to me. He said, Kvod Harav, you should have given this shiur yesterday. And I said, what happened yesterday? He said he went to Costco and he stocked up his house with pasta. Pasta was for sale. He bought a whole shelf of Costco with for pasta. You are Erev Pesach now. A couple of weeks before Pesach, you stock up the house with pasta. What are you going to do with this? So he says, Kvod Harav, I'm selling it to a guy anyway. So, bringing himself into a situation that is going to have hametz in his possession during Pesach and he's going to have to sell it to a guy, that's not called Chacham HaRo'eh et HaNolad. Yeah? If you're planning your step in advance, and you know Pesach is coming, not only that I'm not going to stock up my house with hametz, I'm going to try to get rid of the hametz as much as possible. Cook all the hametz you have left in the house. What do you have? You have wheat for the hamin, you have barley, you have flour, you need to bake, cook, pasta, use everything before Pesach. And then on Erev Pesach, maybe you're left with a hametz worth of $20, $25. You burn it. You have a whole basement of whiskey, then you have to sell it. But if you don't have that much, yeah, if a person doesn't have that much hametz, he doesn't need to bring himself into a situation of selling the hametz. Also, many poskim advise to sell hametz, which is not asur mideoraita. We started to explain this inyan before. We started and we got distracted a little bit with other topics. Ta'arovet hametz. If I have hametz mixed into another product, do I have to get rid of it before Pesach according to the Torah or not? That's a mahloket. Mahloket Rabbeinu Tam v'Rashi, Masechet Pesachim, Perek Elo Ovrin. Rambam and Rabbeinu Tam holds, Rambam and Rashi holds, there is isur lo yira'eh v'lo yimatzeh even beta'arovet hametz. Rabbeinu Tam holds there is no isur lo yira'eh v'lo yimatzeh beta'arovet. If the hametz is mixed on another product, there is no isur lo yira'eh v'lo yimatzeh over there. But even according to Rambam, isur lo yira'eh v'lo yimatzeh, says Arav HaMagid, according to Rambam, it's only if you have kazait hametz beta'arovet. And could be even kazait b'chdei achilat peras, which means, as we said before, 10%. If you have 10% hametz into the product, and it's at least 1 ounce, then there is isur lo yira'eh v'lo yimatzeh. But if you have less than 10% hametz, then there is no isur lo yira'eh v'lo yimatzeh min Torah. So although mid'Rabbanan, you're supposed to remove it out of your possession, but now we're dealing with isur d'Rabbanan. You're selling it to a goy. It's not yours. You're not over an isur Torah. Mideoraita, there is no isur lo yira'eh v'lo yimatzeh if you don't have kazait b'shalosh betzim. Mid'Rabbanan, you're not supposed to have it in your possession, but still you can sell it to a goy. It's not yours. So for such a hametz, which means hametz beta'arovet, selling it to a goy, it's a good idea. But hametz gamur, if you have cakes, if you have cookies, if you have pizza, if it's necessary for you to sell the hametz, yes, I'm not saying it's asur. Yes, you can sell it. If someone has a large stock of Hametz in his house and he needs to sell it, yeah, that's the solution we have for him. Sell the Hametz. Minhag of Klal Israel is to sell the Hametz. But as a good advice, as a good plan, if a person can fulfill the mitzvah of the Torah, the way the Torah wrote it to us, תשביתו שאור מבתיכם, לא ייראה ולא יימצא, completely, that's the best way to handle this mitzvah. Again, since we have min Torah, the isur of לא ייראה ולא יימצא, only בחמץ בעין, or even according to Rambam that חמץ בתערובת, it's also אסור בלא ייראה ולא יימצא, it's only if you have kazait in the ta'arovet. And according to some of the poskim, alibad Rambam, kazait b'chdei achilat peras. So if the ta'arovet is less than this amount, then I'm not involved with the issue of the Torah anymore. Lo yireh v'lo yimatzeh, I'm protected. Baruch Hashem, there is no lo yireh v'lo yimatzeh over here. The Rabbanan hem amru ve'hem amru. It's much easier to sell Hametz de Rabbanan than to sell Hametz de Oraita. So my advice is to handle our days to come, that the Hametz Ba'ain, we're going to finish it before Pesach. Erev Pesach, the little bit Hametz that we have left, get rid of it, destroy it, complete the mitzvah of the Torah the proper way. And then, what you can keep in your house and sell it to a goy, it's a Hametz B'Ta'arovet. And mostly Hametz B'Ta'arovet, which is less than Kazait B'chdei Achilat Peras, or Kol Sheken, if it's Kazait, less than Kazait in general, which means it's less than 10% altogether. If it's less than 10%, and there is no Kazait, if there is no Kazait, there is no Yisur Lo Yireh V'lo Yimatzeh over there, then selling the Hametz, selling such a Hametz, that's a good advice. But again, as I said before, the Minhag, and Minhag Yisrael Torahu, a person needs to sell real Hametz, to keep it in his house, even if he have a bread in his house and he wants to sell it. For him to lose a bread, it's a big loss. Or he has a stock of bread and he needs to sell it, even such a Hametz, halachically, we are allowed to sell before Pesach. But as a good hidur, as a good humrah, the Hametz, we are trying to be mehadrim as much as possible, to get rid of the real Hametz, and to sell only Hametz בתערובת. ברצון שנזכה לפסח כשר ושמח, נזכה לגאולה שלמה במהרה בימינו, אמן ואמן.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.